2 inches off of what it should have been to the right or to the left. And it's down 2 inches. The numbers are off. So I got everything done.
Like you were saying that flipping houses was like you were selling it to felons and stuff?
No, we were working with felons. But at the same time, though, we were selling houses to felons. I mean, they were in the worst project you can think of. East Side, freaking Shalishan.
So you're fixing up houses
to
sell for felons, but you guys were also felons.
Yeah, we were also... Well, no, we...
Not you.
Them. I'm not a felon. I have never committed a felony that
you got caught for.
Yes.
I don't know. We've all been there.
Yes, thank you. Keeping it clean.
These houses that you were flipping, were they condos? Like project condos? Or were they like actual houses on a lot with yards and stuff?
They had yards. They were houses for the average family. I mean, you went to Cleavers, but you could be. Because a few of the houses that we sold, I went back just to see who moved into them. And they were actually good families. They just got a bad rap. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, though, I went back and saw a few of the families that were back into the game. And I don't know...
So... Talking about getting back in the game, like how would you get approved for a house loan at that time?
There's always a female. I don't want to put that on a female game, but there was always a female that the guy fell back on, where she was doing the whole state. I feel bad for you. Look, here's your house. Here's your whatever, and the female would move in with her kids, and the male would move back in. And it would start up another fucking drug game, dope game, whatever. Just bad.
So, was this company trying to make like a place for them to get out of the game?
They were trying to make a place for them to get out of the game.
At the same time, it was like causing a whole controversy between the cul-de-sac or the street because you had felon right living right next to each other where they can easily drag themselves back into it.
It was the neighborhood. It wasn't that person. It was the neighborhood. So, I mean, if you had the mentality to say, I'm out the game, good.
In the strong will.
Yeah, in the strong will.
Yeah.
They started doing layoffs. The guy that I work with, I love him to death, Jeremy Woods. He freaking fought for me to keep this fucking job because I didn't know half the shit that I was doing. He was like, he's got potential, but he just don't know what he's doing. If you show him, he knows what he's doing. He doesn't do drugs. He drinks a lot. God bless y'all. So I tightened up my game. I stopped drinking. And Jeremy, I started making mad mistakes everywhere because I tried to quit smoking. I quit drinking, and my mistakes just piled up on me. I mean, it's like a monkey on your fucking back. It was just like, dude, I couldn't do nothing fucking right. He takes me out one night. He's just like, dude, you need to relax. I figured it out. I figured it out. You need to relax and just freaking be you. Anybody can do anything. I mean, if you want to be a rocket scientist, you want to open up your own fucking podcast. Because I listened to the last guest. What was his name?
Mundo,
yeah.
Dude, I give him mad fucking props because... And I honestly want to shake this motherfucker's hand and just tell him this, dude, I got mad love for you because I was one intersection away from being where this cat was at. I seen my best friend get shot in the face over a high school fight by a 10-year-old. And I mean, dude, I got brains and shit just covered over me. I didn't see a psychologist. I didn't see it coming. And people were like, oh yeah, this He was the shit. He was a gangster. Dude, don't promote gangsters. Promote life. Promote going to college. Promote freaking good grades. Promote anything else but being a knucklehead. Sag your pants. But if you're going to sag your pants, sag it and get a good job. But just know, if you in the Boeing with your shit sagging down to your kneecaps, you probably are not a Boeing candidate.
The way I look at it is like, shout out to the young bucks that are going through the same thing you've gone through, and let's try to get them where you're at right now, where they don't have to go through Mundo's stage. They don't have to go through your stage.
And I give Mundo mad respect.
And step up ahead of that curve. That's really what me and Bo were talking about. You know, if we got a shout out from a young buck giving us an email saying, hey, I listened to the podcast and it turned my life around because of what I heard from your guys' guest, and kind of gave me a boost to not have to go through all that to get where you're at.
You know what though?
You know, and it's not like we're bragging about where we're at. You know, we're all
there is no bragging. There's no bragging on this show.
Yeah, we're lower class, middle class people that are trying to do something.
I'm just like, dude, I stepped in your shoes and I stepped right the fuck out. Because I could have been him in a fucking Tennessee minute. From the cooking to the gang member to the family life to getting your kids back. And I respect that shit because you got your kids. I couldn't freaking imagine a day without my kids because it's better than cable. My kids are my fucking comedy. I don't watch TV. I watch my kids. And dude, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, just like the guy that you knew that's sober now, that was pretty much living in the closet wherever he would work. You know, he was willing to just, you know, live in the closet, and that was his life. That was what he was willing to do for his drug habit.
He was good at his job.
But it's like for all of us, you know, we come to this why in the road, but our why is really an infinite number of paths, and we make our decisions throughout our life, like which road we're going to go down, you know, based on our experiences and what we've dealt with, and yeah, I don't know. It's a hard decision, and everybody makes their own decisions on which path they go down.
It is.
And sometimes you make the wrong decision, and then you hit another why, and you make the right decision.
Yes.
And you talked about running into drugs, running into gangs, running into parties, you know, with dead people hanging from the closet. I mean, you had infinite whys that you came through, and you always took the right why. You know, you always took the right, left or right that needed to be taken.
I missed a bullet going through my head one night on fucking Hosmer. I dropped my Newports on the floorboard of my buddy's Suzuki Sidekick.
That's what you got to complain about.
And this shit went through the fucking canopy. And I missed getting a bullet in the head.
Just because you dropped your cigarettes.
Because I dropped my cigarettes.
Damn.
I have missed so much shit by a coochie hair. And I was going to say cunt hair, but I guess this is my boy's podcast, so I can say what I want to say.
Rated R.
Right? Oh, okay. 118th Street in Parkland off of Ainsworth. I get a shotgun put in my mouth. This guy tells me, lose the Jordans, lose the starter coat. It was my first pair of designer anythings. I don't know how to explain to my parents that I got jacked at a bus stop. Because where my parents are from, my dad did a lot of time in New York, never got jacked. He was a shoe shiner, paid his dues in New York to get to the recruiter office, to join the military, to give me the life that I had. I didn't want to disrespect that by saying that, dude, I got jacked at a freaking bus stop for nothing. I got a job to replace my Jordans, to replace the freaking starter coat that I lost, so he would never know. to this day, he passed away 15 years ago and doesn't know that I did all that just to replace the shit that he gave me out of his kindness. My mom, because she would give me some shit from like the 80s when it was the 90s. Bell bottoms. Yes. I had no game because, dude, I'm black in an all-white school with braces. I had one gold chain, and that was my rep. That was it. I lived through it. I don't understand these kids that are getting bullied on freaking Facebook and piece themselves out. Dude, get a life. I don't know, talk to somebody. Talk to a counselor. Talk to your buddy. I don't give a shit who buddy it is. Just talk to somebody. But you don't piece yourself out because you ain't got the brand new shoes. You ain't got a Jordan. You ain't got a Pro Kid. Do you. Don't do somebody else's, because you can't live your life in somebody else's shoes.
I've never thought about suicide or hurting myself or killing myself, but
Amen.
I find for myself that just talking to somebody, talking to a friend, or doing this podcast, or just getting together with friends is like the best therapy. And the worst times when I feel the most depressed, I guess for lack of a better term, is when I don't open up or talk to other people, when I just introvert, I think that's the biggest thing, just for me, in my opinion, is talking about your feelings, talking about what you're going on in your life.
You know what, though? I got to give you an amen for that, because I never thought about that. But I'm talking to the motherfuckers I don't even know. I know you about from when I pulled up. And I'm like opening up. If you have depression, if you have any feelings, just get on the podcast, bitch. I mean, yeah, it's funny. It's funny to a point, but you know what though? I feel fucking so relaxed now that I'm just talking to people that I don't know, and I can say, look, hey, my uncle didn't touch me, but I had some issues when I was a kid, going through gang territory, being black in an all-white area, being black in an all-Samoan area, being black in an all-Mexican area. You get treated differently everywhere. I mean, I'm not trying to put down any nationality, but you get treated differently. Because I couldn't see being Samoan going to an all-white neighborhood. I couldn't be Mexican going into an all-white neighborhood. I couldn't be Samoan going to an all-black neighborhood. And vice versa. Whatever neighborhood you're going to go to, be you. Always be you. If the motherfuckers don't like you, they ain't going to like you. Be you.
And I think that's something that I can't relate to, is like what it's like to go into a community and be a minority, and know what it's like to be treated differently because of the color of my skin or my community.
You will.
Or my culture.
I can bring you some places.
Well, the loud voices are the ones that are talking about discrimination or anti-discrimination. That's always the loud people, where it's like, most of us, I mean, the way I grew up and the way I think most of us grew up is like, you just look at a person as what they've shown you what they are. And I think that's what's most important. Like, you look beyond. I've never met like a black person or an Asian person or a Samoan person where I was like, oh, this is a bad person because of the color of their skin. It's just, what have they shown me how they are? And I know not everybody's like that, but...
Oh, my God. I'm fucked up.
All right. So, I've got to thank our guest, Jason Smith, for coming on today. We really appreciate it, man. You've been great. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank
Episode
you.
number 2, Department of Labor and Beer. You can follow us on Twitter at DLB Podcast. Follow our Facebook page, Department of Labor and Beer. Just look us up. You can download our episodes on Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher,
YouTube. And you can donate to us on Patreon.com. Just search us on Department of Labor and Beer. You can also, we'll email us at Department of Labor and Beer at gmail.com. Definitely follow us on Facebook.com.
We will keep
Drink
you
less.
updated. Stay tuned.
Stay hydrated. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.